Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys had a beautiful weekend. I'm praying for a prosperous week for you guys, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I just came back from the mountain from last night, and one of the big things that came across the reflection was the question of what is our identity? And that whenever we're spreading the gospel, whenever we want someone to know the truth, how to conduct that, but not to put all the responsibility on you, but to know your role and the entirety of spreading the gospel and spreading the truth, especially with your friends, your loved ones, and those that you love. There are many ways and types of ways underneath the whole identity that he has given his followers and his people. Sort of like a video game where there's one objective, but everyone has their own niche, their own skills, their own methods in order to achieve that objective. The mission is the identity that Jesus has given us. This is in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. It's definitely the answer to whenever you ask Jesus about what your identity is on the world. And whenever you're praying and you feel like there's nothing going on for you and you feel like, what is your purpose? Well, that's what it is, being a follower of Jesus. Back in those times, they would pay wages with salt. The purpose of salt was to prevent something from going bad, was to prevent something from rotting or expiring. He tells us that we are the salt of the earth. We are the people that take part in the healing of the world. In today's modern society, we do face a lot of adversity, and that adversity is only getting stronger. The world feels a lot colder. The love feels a lot distant. It does not mean that we are to submit to the coldness of the world, to the struggles of the world. I think the best words of encouragement comes from John chapter 1, verse 3. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. The salt of the earth, the light of the world. This is a promise within the Bible that the darkness will not win. And even if the battle feels like we're at a stagnation, sometimes what I think is that every day we're always gaining ground. The only reason why it feels like we haven't moved is because, for that day at least, the ground that we gained was just so small for even us to notice. But Jesus knows and has promised that we are gaining ground every single day. What would happen if there was no followers of Jesus on the world? We all know that would just be a world plunged into chaos. You take what's going on in the world today, you amplify it 1,000 times more. All the evil things are seen as good. A world absent of God. A world plunged into darkness. It's not about physical darkness, it's also about the metaphorical darkness. That darkness being sin and negativity. And that darkness being seen as the social norm, as what's legal, as what's good. So as a follower of Jesus and you question your identity, that's what this is. And if you question its importance, it's actually extremely important. For those who weep for the world, who see everything that's going on in the world, there's not a lot of people who have this identity. There are those who have chosen themselves, and then there are those who have chosen Jesus. At the end of the day, those are going to be the only two people that are left. Those who are saved and those who are not saved. Now, if that be our identity, what are the actions to this identity? There are many ways to share this identity with others, to share the gospel, to share God's love. Everyone has their methods. I mean, there are people out there who go out on the streets and they preach the gospel. There are people who hold mass conferences or mass gatherings. People do it through music. I would even go so far as to say there are people who have been hidden, a small flock per se, who follow Jesus, but the world doesn't notice. But they are out there. All that they're doing is that they're waiting for that perfect signal from Jesus for them to act. And Jesus will keep them hidden until that time. They all are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. They just all have their different methods and placements and positionings. I think a major component in this identity is to spread the gospel, but not to impose it. By now, there's a clear division between people who accept Jesus and people who don't accept Jesus. There are those in the middle that are open to it, but they haven't committed to it. These are those who are curious about Jesus, who believe Jesus is a concept and they love that concept. Lukewarm Christians can't decide whether to give it all to Jesus or give it all to the world. At least for me personally, the biggest thing is to spread the gospel and to conduct your life in a way that reflects Jesus, that reflects God's love in you. It's not just in public when you're with people, but also when the doors are closed, when no one sees you. It's the difference between being loving and caring because you're out with your friends or family, and when you're alone and you go on your computer, you go on your phone, and you see something that really angers you. You start typing a very hateful comment. The life that people see and the life that people don't see has to be the same. It's not just worrying about Jesus every single Sunday or whenever you are in a time of distress. It's about being with Jesus daily, at all times. In times of stress, in times of happiness, wherever you go. And what if we come across a stranger, a friend, a loved one, and you share with them the gospel, and they're either one of two things. They're open to it, but not willing, or they're not willing at all. I think it's a very important thing to note that your whole role in everything was to share the gospel, was to plant the seed. Because at the end of the day, for someone to have faith, it's going to be on the person. And for someone to grow their faith, that's going to be with them and God. Of course, there are people out there who are equipped to make their testimony more convincing, or people who are more equipped to back up the Bible's validity with historical facts or sound logic. Personally, I'm not equipped for that. For me, it's about planting the seed in someone's life, helping them to know who Jesus is, guiding them to the Word of God. And most of the questions that people ask me about life, they're not mine. Comes directly from the scriptures. I'll be honest, when I was first talking about the gospel, especially with those closest to me, I've noticed not a lot of people wanted to surrender to Jesus. And it's not because that they didn't want to surrender. It was because some of them had their own outlook upon the institution of religion. Some of them were too scared to talk about it. Some of them just didn't believe at all. And what pained my heart was that for every single person that I talked to, I loved them, and I still love them. And even now, when thinking about it, my heart aches. All you can do is tell them the truth. All you can do is share the gospel. Everything else is on our Father. There was a very good verse in 1 Corinthians. It was, I planted the seed, Apollos watered, and God gave the growth. The same thing applied here. The aching that I feel, and I currently still do feel when I think about it, especially for the people that I love, it's the same feeling that Paul felt towards the people he was trying to reach out to, and the same feeling that Jesus felt when he was in Jerusalem. It is his pain and aching that the truth is in front of you, but the heart is hardened that you don't want to accept it. But the sad thing is that I can't do anything more than just that. And on top of that, I love you so much as to lay down my life for you. But to do anything more, I think it takes you to a place where, well, you're not really supposed to be. Anything is possible with Jesus and God. And that's where, after planting the seed, is where you have to put your faith. You planted the seed. If the seed grows, his will be done. If the seed doesn't grow, his will be done. That's it. And all you really got to do is just keep repeating that. Plant seeds where you can, and let your life, your light, shine as a testament to God's works in you. Not just in public, but also in private. Lead with love. Lead with what Jesus has taught you. Personally, it's very simple, and there's nothing more to that. My eyes just came across these words in Matthew. It's Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them underfoot and turn and maul you. This actually goes hand in hand about sharing the gospel. If someone completely rejects the gospel or completely rejects Jesus, don't go further. That's what this is saying. Because whatever you're going to give them, whether that be God's love or the truth, they're going to completely throw it in the trash. They're going to burn it. They're going to do whatever they want with it. That's actually what blaspheming the Holy Spirit is. It's the unforgivable sin. It's where your heart is so hardened and your eyes are so closed and your ears are so closed to the truth, and that you have fully accepted that, well, Jesus doesn't exist, that the institutions are just spewing out words, that whatever these Christian content creators or preachers going around are saying is just hot air. And it's Jesus telling you that if you ever meet those people, walk away. Remember, at the end of the day, there are those who are saved and those who are not saved. You know who those people are. But I think that's going to be it for today's video. I thank you guys for staying around and listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your testimonies, your experiences within the comments. So as always, keep Jesus close, follow Jesus, stay safe out there, and God bless you.